gentlemen. Good to see you.
Fancy meeting you.
Good to see you.
In the corridor.
I didn't know he was here. How are you?
This is like, this is your life now. I tell you.
Now, Louis, how did you know these guys had it?
Well, I first met two of the boys at Ronan's 21st birthday party. That's not today, yesterday, Ronan.
No, it was 4 years ago.
And before that, Shane's mother, May, rang me one day in the office. I was sitting there and I got all these calls, and I got this woman on the phone from Sligo, and she said, "You don't know me, but I'm originally from Kelchima, and I've got this son, and he's a born entertainer." And she absolutely convinced me that he was.
Yeah, and it was the West of Ireland connection, though.
It was the West of Ireland connection. I knew she wouldn't tell lies. Yeah, I knew she wouldn't tell lies. And, you know, she was absolutely right. And then Peter Aiken rang me and he said, "I've got a free space with the Backstreet Boys in the RDS." And I knew the boys were massive fans of the Backstreet Boys. So I rang the band and said, "Guys, guess what? You're on with the Backstreet Boys."
I know. And we actually started crying. We were like,
they were so innocent then.
I know.
It's all changed.
It's all gone. Well, I mean, we've watched them coming and going and having hit records, and they still haven't changed. They're still the same 4 guys from Sligo, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, Nicky. The Sligo...
the honorary Sligo man.
Yeah.
And the point about Shane is he wasn't liked much by your friend and colleague, Mr.
Simon Cowell. This is a true story, Pat. Simon Cowell came in to see them. It was in the Westbury Hotel, remember?
Yeah.
And we had 6 people in the band, and he said, "You know, darling, I'm not too sure about 4 of them." You know? And he said, "I think you have to change 4 of them." So I actually only changed 3 of them. And we actually dyed Shane's hair blonde. And 3 months later, Simon said to me, "I love that singer. Where did you get him, darling?" And I think everything is darling with Simon.
I've never heard your impression of Simon before.
I've been working with him a lot in the last few weeks. So I said, "Guess what? That's the same guy that you saw in Dublin." He says, "No, never."
Well, we didn't tell him until the record deal was signed.
Yeah, it was signed. So Simon's not always right.
All right. Now, Ronan, you were already successful when these guys were starting out on the path to success. What advice did you give them at the time?
I was kind of there for them, I hope, more than giving them advice, just be there for them. I remember well, with the European Tour Boyzone did, the guys came on the road with us, they supported us. And I spent more time on their bus than I did on our own bus, because the lads were more crack, you know. It was more better lads. And, you know, it was just kind of hanging out with them and, you know, trying to help them out and give them advice when they needed it. I wasn't trying to push anything on them. But the guys from an early, you know, from the get-go, they kind of knew what was going on. They kind of had their heads about them.
Actually, on that tour bus, I remember we used to put everything on Ronan's credit card.
Yeah.
It was Louis' credit card.
It was Louis' credit card, and I didn't tell the lads that, though.
But they were always had their feet on the ground. I think that was the best thing about them. Feet on the ground. They worked really hard, Pat.
Yeah, I think it was more, with Ronan, I think it was more confidence. He gave us a lot of confidence at the start, because we were obviously very nervous and, you know, small band starting out and stuff like that. So at the time, to get advice off Ronan Keaton, who was a huge star, you know, it was a lot for us.
But isn't it really the art of the possible that they had done it? They showed that you could come out of Ireland and be a boy band.
Well, that's it. There was never, I mean, there wouldn't be a Westlife without a Boyzone, without a doubt. You know, if Louis hadn't have, you know, put Boyzone together and did what he did with those guys, you know, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Do you think he did it any differently with you guys than he had? I think he learned a few lessons from working with Boyzone.
That's questions for Louis. I'd say he did it a few different ways.
Yeah. I'm not getting into any more trouble, Pat. I'm not saying anything.
He's got his own trouble.
I'm working with Boyzone again, and it's all good.
But they're more mature now, anyway.
Yeah, we're grown up.
Pat, I tell you what the thing is, the lads get it, you know, they understand the business. They work hard. When you work hard, you reap the rewards, and that's what it is. I mean, they're talented, right, and that gets them there. But really...
There are 2 words, though, aren't there? It's music business. So you've got to do the business right, or it won't work, and you've got to do the music right, or it won't work. The two together.
Business is very important. I
And
think
you guys
that's where Keane comes in, because
Keane is, I'm on to Keane morning, noon and night. He's the person I ring if there's a problem, and he takes all the grief, and he gives me all the grief as well.
And he saves us a lot of money.
Yes, he does. But Pat, they are great singers, and they've got great songs, you know, and it's all about the songs, really.
And we'll hear some more of those songs in a while, because you realised they had from the very beginning the X Factor, but there was a couple of other people who also recognised that. Let's have a look.